Hi FlossTube, my name's Geraldine. My pronouns are she, her, and this is my channel about all of the crafty things, mostly cross stitching, that I do. You can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is GerXstitches. It's GER_GERX stitches. And so I do post quite a bit more there than I am on YouTube. So it is time for my weekly Flossmass update. It is Friday, December 15th, and I have a few things to show you and just catch up and chat. Stitch an update first. It's been just a busy week of work and I don't really know. Stitching as much as I can when I can. We had a few things that we had to do in the evening, running around. My daughter is in band and orchestra. I've talked about that before. And one night this week, it was a big night. Actually, today will be a big day for her. She stepped up in her trumpet. So that means that she no longer has the typical brass trumpet that you see most new students with. She has a beautiful silver trumpet now. For those of you who know musical instruments, she chose a cannonball. I don't know which one. I know that it was expensive. Thank goodness for rent to own. But we're really hoping that I'm really hoping, and I made her promise that this is like her forever trumpet. So at least, I don't know if she'll need an additional one if she wants to play in college, but at least this will get her through the rest of junior high and high school with whatever she wants to do. I'm not sure what we'll do. Latest update is that she does want to do marching band, which is exciting. I think it's a really great opportunity. It's also quite expensive. I am not like the fundraising type. I know they do a ton of band booster fundraising. I would rather, instead of, if it's like, go to, I'm trying to think of where, the Panda Express, and 20% will go towards the band. Like, that's awesome. But buy this thing that you may not ever actually use, and then you get like $5 or something towards your account. Like, I'd rather just put money in or pay for what we need to pay for when we need to pay for it, or save up for it, right? With the exception of the coffee that we ordered. I think that was her first year of orchestra. We ordered coffee from a place in Minneapolis that does like mail order coffee fundraising, and it was very delicious. So that was a crazy tangent, but that's our big news, is that she stepped up and she will bring that home today. They were dropping them off on Friday. So she's very excited about that. I'm sure she'll play a little for me today. That was the other thing. She doesn't like to play or practice when we're home. So a part of the deal was that if I was going to be paying this much money for her trumpet, she was not going to have that be a barrier to her practicing. And so we should hear more of it. They are very beautiful sounding. Speaking of coffee, so we had a work Christmas party this morning, which was lovely. We had breakfast. I love a good breakfast. My favorite breakfast thing is like a hash. So like fried potatoes, gooey eggs on top, bacon and onions and green peppers and mushrooms, and I'm a pretty happy camper. So we had that this morning, and then our activity was to just have the day to do the things for yourself that you want to do. So I was out on the side of town that I had wanted to go out for a little while, did a little bit of running around, and then I went to Trader Joe's. So we have Trader Joe's in our area, but it's quite a trip. It's like 35-40 minutes plus lots of annoying traffic on that side of town. So Caroline has talked about this Trader Joe's. I didn't bring the box over, but this Trader Joe's winter tea. Sorry, Caroline, if you don't know who she is, where have you been? Caroline from Evertote, Off the Grid Needle Arts, talks about this winter tea and how much she loves it. So I bought some. I couldn't really tell the flavor, or the scent from just the box at the store, but I trust her. She has good taste, and she's right. She does have good taste. This tea is super nostalgic for me. So when I went to nursing school, the college that I went to, there was this little coffee shop. Actually, it was pretty big. It wasn't little. But there was a coffee shop on campus that was privately owned, connected to the Lutheran church that was on campus. And they had the best tables for studying. They were big tables. There were couches. Mostly we sat at a table so that we stayed focused. I drank coffee in college, but not like I drink coffee now. But they had the best tea. And I never knew what company it was. It was like, we had the internet then, but it wasn't like online shopping isn't like it wasn't like it is now. But they had this Seattle Market spice tea. It was a black tea with super spicy cinnamony. It was my favorite, and I would get that often. We spent a lot of time there studying to get ready for tests and to kind of cram. One of my close nursing friends and I would sit and we would like talk about our notes to like kind of help solidify like that auditory part really helped with remembering the information. So anyways, this tea tastes exactly and smells exactly like that tea that I haven't had in years. I think the last time I would have had it would have been in 2015 when I was in my master's program. I had to go back there for a week. So I did my master's at the same school, but did it remotely for my master's. And so we had to spend a week on campus for our physical assessment class. And I went there and I got that tea. And yeah, so I'm super excited to have found this. I'm glad I bought 2 boxes. I purchased a project for my husband at Trader Joe's. They had a ton of eucalyptus there. It smelled so good. I love eucalyptus. I love that smell. And so I bought 2 packages of eucalyptus and then a package of like mixed flowers for him to make like a bouquet or something. I can do it too. His just turn out so much better. So I don't know if he'll choose to do a vase or if he'll do like a floral foam arrangement. But it's close enough to Christmas that what I picked might keep for the holiday. So he doesn't know it yet, but there's a project for him waiting. And I am coming to you from my Christmas tree. I thought that would be fun since no one's home yet to shoot this video in front of my Christmas tree. So this is what it looks like. I can only take credit for the balls and the lights, the beautiful arrangements, and the, I don't know what to call it because it's not garland, but I mean, it functions as garland. That's all of my husband. I didn't grow up decorating like this. We just had like a family tree with family ornaments, colored lights. It's beautiful and I love looking at it. I try to put this fabric on the tree and he's like, I kind of struggle. I'm like, show me how you do this again. And before you know it, it's on the tree. He's done it. And so this is a tree that we've had for 16 years. We got this when we moved into our first house a few months before we got married. It was pre-lit 2 years ago. We had been replacing strands and strands and strands as they went out over time. Last year I was sick of it. I got wire cutters and I took all of the pre-lit bulbs off and replaced them with the warmest possible LEDs I could find, which are not quite the same as incandescent, but they're close. They're pretty good. And this tree went up like a champ this year. It was much better. So our decorations are like what he's chosen. For the fluff, the floof has changed over time, but we've always had this like red and gold ball tree, so, and the same fabric. And the cat and the dog, they don't climb it, but they like to go underneath. And like we have a satin tree skirt. It's really just another piece of satin cloth that he lays around. You can see kind of down here. I did not a great job putting it back because they'll go down and like they'll pull it away and it's a thing and they're jerks, but it's fine. So here we are in front of my tree. Let's actually talk about stitching. Sorry, I've had a good day. Got some treats for myself out shopping, so I'm excited to catch up with you. So I'll try and take a breath and slow down. Okay, where to start? Probably we should start with the countdown. So Evertote, Roxy Floss Coat, Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery put together this small little project called the Holiday Countdown. It's the second year that they've done it, and it's, if you're not aware, again, where have you been? But you should check it out. It's 25 days of floss and chart. It's a mystery. So you get a new floss each day. There's other little treats in there. And at the end of the month, or close to the end of the month, you have a finished cross-stitch piece and all of this beautiful, gorgeous extra floss. Because you definitely don't need the floss you don't need the whole skein of what you get. So I will show you today's first. This is a cute, I love this picture. It's very nostalgic. And this is the floss for the day. It is called Gold Star, and it is the perfect gold. Like, Carrie's done some golds. She's got some good ones like ochre or brass tacks, but this one is like, in my mind, it's as close to metallic you can get without it actually being a metallic thread. I don't know how she does it, but it's just so rich and shiny and gorgeous. So I'm excited to get those stitches in. That will be what I do as soon as we are done here. And here is where I am so far. So I'm all caught up. And so the gold stitches will go in, like, it almost looks like there's like a wreath here starting. So loving this piece. I'm working on it every day. It's been very manageable. I like that I've been able to fit some other crafting and stitching in between the work for each day, but I also, like, as soon as I finish the day stitch, I'm like, I want to go and open. Or like, there's been a couple nights where I've been up quite late and it's like almost midnight. Like, I mean, technically it's the next day. I'm like, no. Like, I know you can't wait, but you'll be happier if you wait. So I haven't cheated and opened it early. My other, like, stitchy along project that I've been working on is this Christmas Countdown by Erica Michaels. And so I had pre-stitched the borders at the top and the bottom and some of the figures, and then I'm just filling in the numbers each day. I have been slacking on this, but I will catch up this weekend. I've been really excited to stitch on, like, my holiday, like, big stitch. And so when I'm done with my countdown, even though there's like 25 stitches, I've just wanted to pick that up, and I haven't wanted to stop and do this first. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm 6 days behind, but it will take no time at all to get caught up. And the numbers, like the last row are big, but the numbers will get smaller as we go. And then when I get into single digits, man, it'll be a breeze. So I'll get caught up and try to do better about staying on track with those. I did my own conversion with this kit, or not, it wasn't a kit, with this pattern of course, oops, my floss is messy, but Roxy Floss Co. So I picked Value Red, Butterscotch, Polish Chanel, which was a color from last year. Don't remember if that one stuck around or not. Grinch, which was a color from last year, but I think is also in the main collection. This is Algae. This is an I don't know if it was a one of a kind or just like a discontinued color, but it was like the closest to like this darker green that I had available from Roxy in my stash. But now I got more because the greens from the Holiday Countdown are amazing. They're amazing. So I will have the right greens for the future. Okay, let's take a little detour into knitting. So another project that I have horribly fallen behind on is the Freckled and Whimsy 24 stripe Advent sock set that we got as a mystery at the beginning of the month. I had my mother-in-law wind it for me so that I wouldn't have the surprise ruined, and so the plan was to knit about a stripe and a half. So the stripes are like 4 or 5 rows for the size sock that I'm stitching and the pattern I'm using. So to like have a finished sock by Christmas, I need to stitch like 7 rows a day, which per sock, which means almost a stripe-ish, a stripe and a half, I think, is a stripe and a half. It doesn't matter. So I will, assuming I catch up, not like know all of the colors before the 24th. But I have not picked these up since before the last time we chatted. I have some other knitting projects that I'll show you that have taken up some of my time, and I've just really been wanting to cross stitch, but I love them. I love how they're turning out, and I like that I have these as the season gets busier with more visiting. I can feel like I can knit more than even though if you don't cross stitch, you don't get it. I can listen. I like to listen and converse unless I'm counting, right? Like while I'm stitching. But because I'm so focused, and it looks like you're hyper focused when you're stitching, people don't think that you're actually being social. So anyways, hashtag make cross stitch social. But anyways, those people have never been to a cross stitch retreat, clearly. Okay, here's my socks. Here's where they are so far. I love the colors so far. This purple and then getting into this lavender. So again, these are like way behind. I should be way past the heels by now. It is what it is. I will get them done. They're gorgeous. I made this bag from this fabric. Oh, here's the side that I actually got the right direction on the fabric cut. There we go. I got this fabric last year and I made a cross stitch bag for it, and I love, love, love this fabric. It's a cotton, but it's like that really soft, high quality cotton, and it has stars inside. This is one of the ones that I tried last year. I think I talked about on my Flossmass videos last year, where instead of sewing the bags like inside out and then like closing the bottom, I used my serger to finish the edges and then just make the bag, and I think it works really well. So it's a lot of a quicker finish. Okay, so we diverted to, okay, let's do this one. Knitting. Let's just stay on knitting for a while. We'll go back to stitching. So I am also participating in the Imagine Landscapes knit along, gnome along, that she does. I don't know how many years Sarah's been doing it, but it's been quite a few. I've participated. This is my 3rd Christmas, plus I've done some other like mid-year gnome alongs. And we finished our first piece. There were lots of mystery pieces. But yeah, this is my gnome man. So he has a carrot nose. He's got this cute little scarf to cover his face. And then this is the first time we learned to do surface embroidery on him. So his little twig arms. So I was behind on him, but he was easy to catch up once I decided I needed to get going on it. So he's super fun. I'm excited to see what the gnome looks like. We got a knitting clue today. I haven't looked at it. I've looked at it, but not close enough to figure out if I think we're knitting the gnome yet. I have a feeling we might be. Okay. Last week I showed you the socks or the yarn that I got for my 2nd week for the Nicole C Mendez self-striping yarn advent. She does 100 gram skeins, one for each Advent Sunday. This was last week's colorway that you only saw in the skein, so it's kind of hard to see. So I was right or wrong, I don't remember which, but there's 3 different pinks in there, so they stripe out different. It wasn't that they were variegated necessarily. They were their own individual stripes. So these are really fun. They turned out a little small. This was my first pair. I did gauge swatch it, but this is my first pair that I knit with nylon to give them some stretch. I like how they feel on my feet. They're a little hard to get on. So I'm still learning with the nylon. The next pair that I made with the nylon, I brought my gauge down because these ones were so small, or I brought my gauge up, whichever makes sense. So this is knit on the same gauge. This sock was washed and blocked. This sock is not yet. I haven't sewed in the toe yet, but I don't know. One is definitely longer than the other. I think I read somewhere with the nylon that you have to like, you don't really know what you have until you wash and block it. So I need to get these toes on, so that this toe done, so that I can wash it and block it, and then we'll see what we've got and if this is the right gauge or not. The fabric's a little like not as cushy as the other pair, of course, because the gauge is quite a bit looser. So we'll see. But this is an active yarn, self-striping. So this is like a mass-produced yarn that comes out of Italy that's self-striping, and they make lots of fun self-striping, self-patterning sock colors, and they have quite a collection of Christmas ones that are great. This one is called Elf, and I was able to get it from CSM Supplies in a 400-gram cone. So it's already pre-coned, which is awesome, because you should be knitting for consistent tension. You should be knitting with a circular sock machine from a cone. So I don't have to pre-wind it. And then the price of the 400-gram cone is not quite double what the price of one 100-gram skein would be. And if I'm buying that 100-gram skein at my local LNS, it's even less than half more. So it's the value of buying a 400-gram cone is very good. And with a circular sock machine, it's more reasonable to make socks for other people. It still takes me about 2 hours plus the time to Kitchener the toe, but it's much more manageable to consider making socks for people. So I think it makes sense to have a cone that has 4 or 5 pairs of socks on it. So that's what these ones are. I'm excited. These ones will probably be for me. If they are too big for me, I will mess around with my gauge again with a nylon and give these to someone who I know has a slightly bigger feet than me. And then to show you, this is again, I wore these this week to work one day, but wool, like, they're not gross, they're not dirty, I promise. Like, wool is amazing. That's what's one of the things that's so amazing about wool. So I just wanted to show you again, these are the 2 colorways so far, because I'm going to open the next one. It's amazing how tension makes a difference, by the way, because like these are the same sock yarn and they're the same number of stitches. So here's a classic example in gauge, but also this is nylon and these do not. So like once you stretch these out with your foot, these are probably the size and shape of my foot and leg. These stretch back. These have also been worn this week. So that's the benefit of the nylon, and it is a little bit more work to use it, but I think it pays off. So here's my lovely Nicole C Mendez skein. It's week 3, and all of the tags have a different little fun stamp. I'm gonna pull these off and use them for floss drops. These bags would be perfect for gifting. Let's see what we have. The red kind, I can't peek inside. The red throws off the color. Ooh. This colorway is called Letter to Santa. And it's like pinks and purples and yellow. It's really pretty. I'm excited to see how it knits up. So I see white. I see maybe 2 shades of purple, a mauve, a yellow, a blue, a light blue, a red. Sometimes you have to kind of like dig down in the skein to see all the different colors. So this is how, until I had used self-striping sock yarn before, I didn't know at the store how to look for self-striping sock yarn. So if you see yarn and it's like green here and white in the middle and red on the bottom, or some kind of mixture of that, right? Like if you see it in chunks on the skein, that is like hand-dyed yarn that will be, speckled isn't the right, variegated. Self-striping always looks like it's all jumbled up. It's all mixed up because that's how it dyes up and gets put in, like that's what it looks like when it's wrapped. So there's your yarn buying tip of the week. Here are the colors together. So not a traditionally Christmas palette, not super bright colors. And so I think that's fun because these socks mean then that they have some, I can wear, I mean, not that I would necessarily care. You don't often see my socks at work, or if I'm wearing jeans, but like I can wear these without them being overtly Christmas when it's not the holiday season. I wear a lot. Since I've started with my circular sock machine, I've been wearing more tall socks, but I tend to gravitate towards ankle socks, which I can usually get a pair of ankle socks and a pair of tall socks from each skein. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. If my daughter likes this color, maybe she'll want them. And then I can make myself the shorts. I also, so for this this is the second pair of socks from my circular sock machine that I did a different color heel. It's not super hard. The nylon makes it a little bit more finicky. I didn't do the toe because by the time I'm down to the toe, I'm like almost done with the sock. It takes just a couple more minutes to do the toe. So I haven't switched my yarn. I could, but I just haven't. So the motivation to change the heel color, other than like if I'm doing a shorty, I have gone to a different color heel just to make sure I have enough yarn to finish the sock, is that the stripe, you don't lose the stripe. I'll show you. So on the top of your foot, this keeps going, right? Like, so like from the top, it follows, and this it's a little bit harder because it's the way the pattern is, it's more spread out. But you can see on these ones, I like stopped for the heel, and so it goes green. Oh, that's a hard one because the pinks helped with it not being quite as obvious. So let's do this one. Okay, so it should be purple, light blue, pink, blue, and then this like reddish orange color, tangerine color, and then it should be yellow again, but it goes to pink. So like these three colors, it's like these three are really close to each other because all of that yarn that was in between is in the heel. So they're still great. If you're not looking super close and you don't know any better, you might not notice, but so anyways, I'm going to see probably, now that I'm getting a lot more comfortable on my machine, I'm going to see if I have a stash color that will work to do heels with that. So that's fun. Okay. I have one more thing for knitting and then I will get back to stitching. So back in early November, I decided I was going to make my husband a Musselburgh hat by Isolde Knits, and it's a very, very popular pattern. I've wanted to make DK because in my head DK would knit up faster than fingering. Often these can be made, the Musselburgh hat can be made in any size yarn. You knit and then you gauge and then you know how big to make it, essentially how many increases to make to get the right width, and then how long to stitch it, or you do the length you do as you go. And so I found this earth yarn. It's called Uneek. That's like the type of yarn. It's like a thicker than fingering weight. I ended up going back and buying 2 skeins because I figured out that one wouldn't be enough. But it was really hard to find. I wanted self-striping, but it was really hard for me, at least at my LNS, and I think even the little bit that I looked online, to find more masculine self-striping sets and then to look for DK on top of it when it was like a needle in a haystack. However, I did find this at my local yarn store, and it's gorgeous. So this is where I am so far. It's taking a little bit longer, but I like put it down and then I go ham. So like last weekend is where I was. So I've done all of this since last weekend. So there is a section of the yarn that's very light. I misgauged the first time I stitched it. So I pulled all of that out. I left this like super light stuff just still knit because I knew I wanted to start closer down here because I thought the darker colors would suit him better, which is another reason why I needed a second skein. So anyways, I restarted it. And then, like, I'm in love, especially with this end, but I'm in love with all of this. I think it's going to look really great. It's going to be super warm. So the Musselburgh hat, what you do is you knit to the length that you need, minus the decreases, and then you basically, it's like a tube with a hat on each end. So this side where my needles are will look like this side when I'm done. So you decrease down till you have a small circle to close. And then what you do is you put one side, see if I can do this. You put one side of the hat inside the other so that it's double layer, and then you can wear it double layer. It's super long, so you can wear it double layer slouchy, or, and this isn't exactly what it's going to look like because the stripes, the coloring of the stripes will land different, or you wear it with the brim, and then you've got like 4 layers of knitting where your ears are. So I'm really excited to see this done. I'm really excited to see what he thinks about it. I haven't been like hiding it when he's around, but I like don't talk about what I'm doing when he's around. And I don't know if he's figured it out or not, but hopefully it will be a surprise for him. So he works outside a lot. So he's out in the winter a lot, and he has like his few tried and true knit hats that he's had for years and years. So this is like a good quality wool. It might be a super wash, but I'll make sure he still like lays it flat to dry. And I hope that it works really well and keeps him very warm. So that I have a week. I only have like a week. Oh, it's like 10 days. I have 10 days to get that done. But it's good. I try to knit that and knit on that in my socks when I have like a TV show that I like want to pay attention to. So I've been watching Fargo. My North Dakota roots help me relate to that. I really liked the first season. I liked the second season. I think I liked the third season. I don't remember much about the third season. I didn't finish the fourth season. I wasn't in love with it. The storyline didn't pull me in like the other ones. Maybe it was just the time of my life. I don't know. I should probably go back and try again. The fifth season is really good. It has Keely. I don't remember the actress's name, but Keely from Ted Lasso is the main actress, and she is great in it. And it's really weird to hear her go from her like very, is it Yorkshire? I don't know. I'm not good with like her English accent isn't like the London accent. She's got like that lilt that's more specific to, is it Liverpool, maybe another English area, and so it's not like proper like the Queen's English accent. To go to like the North Dakota with the O's and she spells ASS when she doesn't swear because of like the person, like her like very cute and quaint and politically correct like North Dakota, Minnesota persona. Like she doesn't actually swear, so it's just funny to it's really interesting to see like how she's different playing those two characters. But the storyline is good. It's quite violent. Fargo has always been quite violent, so if those are things that bother you, this is not the show for you. It does have, it's like a TV MA. It's on Hulu, or FX is like the cable channel that it's on. But anyways, I need to pay attention. Like I can't cross stitch and watch that because there's enough happening that isn't dialogue. That knitting is better, and I'm trying to teach myself to not look at my knitting, so it's good to kind of watch TV and try to practice not looking, so that someday it'll be like second nature to knit and be able to watch TV or make eye contact or those kinds of things. Okay, I for the last few weeks have been working very diligently on Santa Stops Here. Whoops. I think I showed it to you last week. I also threw the, what is happening? Oh, that's interesting. The magnet for the back of my needle minder was staying on because my needle was holding it on. And I lost the other magnet, but I'll find it. Distracted. Okay. So this is Santa Stops Here by Brenda Gervais, the Katie Strachan kit. So this is Katie's version. Sorry about the glare. This is Brenda Gervais' version. And I have really loved stitching, there's the magnet. I've loved stitching this piece, and I wanted to keep going on it, but I really wanted to work on the Light of Winter. so here is where I am so far. So since you've seen it last, if you watched last week, I did, like I talked about, I brought up the side of the house and started on the roof. What else did I do? And I think I've been trying to like fill in over here by the wreath, and like, so this doesn't follow the pattern. Katie pulled out the candy house sign, which I chose to do as well, and then move the wreath down. I actually don't think I moved the wreath down. I don't know what I did, but anyways, so I'm working on making all of the bricks work, which means like making sure they line up across, because all of the mortar is parallel, and then just filling in. So I am stitching this two-handed on a frame, so it's a little bit, and it's silk, so it's a little bit slower for me. I just like how the silk lays better than my typical sewing method. But I did, you know, make sure here that this is going to work, so I'll just add again like my 2 stitches for the snow before I bring it down, and then get the trees in. But this will potentially be one of my like 24th and 25th of the month stitches next year. I don't know if I'll get back to it this year or not. Should probably take it off the Q-snap. Actually, I'm gonna leave that needle minder out, and we'll see, because I have some other projects. And okay, so what I've been working on instead is The Light of Winter by Brenda Gervais. It's gorgeous, and this is like a companion piece, according to Brenda, to Winter Rose Manor, which I already have I also have started. I started it in November, but I don't have very much done. I've got like the outline of the house and like one of the birds started. So I did Roxy Flossco conversions for these. I'll show you. Oh, you can tell that I've been actively, this floss is pretty scary looking. So pardon my messy floss. Here is my palette. This is Sugar and Spice. It's kind of, I had a hard time finding the right brown. So, those are the colors, and let me show you where I'm at. How am I gonna do this? This is on a scroll rod, but I took it out of my frame, and so I don't have the sides for it, so I'm just gonna have to show it and hope that there's not too much. That should be better. So I was working really hard on getting the mortar in on the house so that the brick would be easy fill in, and then I could fill in the roof. I did that basket last night, which was really fun to do. And then there's the snow, and then I started on, there's like a big tall flower right here. And then like some birds. I don't know, there's angels on here. I was gonna replace them with something else. They're not, I wouldn't say they're growing on me, but I'm thinking I actually might keep the angels in now. I'm not sure. We'll see when I get there. Also, this is something for you to help me with. So in my conversion, I originally planned to use poinsettia from last year's countdown for the flowers. I'll show you in the border. And then Merlot for the accent for those flowers, which on paper would work really well. So it's these flowers right here. See how they have that like darker color. So here is, ooh, on the camera, it also doesn't show up as well. So Merlot and poinsettia. Merlot is a little bit darker, and I thought it would be enough, but when I got it on, especially because Merlot is a little bit variegated into really similar color to Rudolph, it wasn't enough of a difference to really make a difference. So I either had to decide to just stitch it all the same color or to try a different color. So I went with Vixen, which is a color that I think I picked for Winter Rose Manor. So I did try to put a couple colors in both of them. So this would be like Vixen and Winter Rose Manor, which is what you see in the part of the border that I have done down here. And so then Vixen is also the berries. So that same color is supposed to also be the berries. If you look at the pattern, I'm going to take it out of the plastic so it's easier for you to see. Granted, I know pattern pictures aren't always the best. Oh, I take it back. When I looked at it online, that red was quite, I thought was kind of not, like it was too bright. Darn. Okay. So I may have able to answer my own question, but I want to know your thoughts. So here are the berries in the border. They do look a lot like Vixen actually. So maybe this is a happy accident. But when I stitched the bowl, I love Merlot. So when I stitched the bowl, I did Merlot. And you probably wouldn't know that it isn't Rudolph, and so I probably could leave it because it's still one of the colors that are in the border. It's not the only place this color will be, a color like it will be. Sorry, you can't see me because I'm slouching and thinking. So what do? I feel like I stick with Vixen in the border, and then I don't know. I think I might take out Rudolph. Because here's Rudolph, and here's Merlot. So let me know what combo of reds you want to see on this project. The other benefit of switching out Rudolph is if anybody wants the conversion, it's going to be doable. Like Vixen and Merlot are a part of the Roxy Flossco set. So here we go. This is the decision. And I think I know what I want to do, and it's going to mean pulling out some stitches. Here is Rudolph and Vixen. Ready? Oh, yeah. I want to know what you guys think. But here is Merlot and Vixen. Does it help to put them together so you can kind of see? So Vixen, and then the darker red or the brighter red. Which ones would you go with? Yeah, and but I think part of why I thought the color was off is because if you look at this house, it looks brown, but it's actually a red, and the red that it is in the chart is Ruby Slipper, which in my head should be a pretty bright red, but it doesn't look like it on the right, like on the top. But this is, I picked Pippi, and I probably should show you this, like a top-down view would be a lot easier. So I feel like it looks a lot like the cover, but like it's got that, like it's slightly dirty. It's like a dirty red, a brownie red. I think it's gonna work really well, but that's kind of a part of the consideration in like the color palette. It's how all of the things go together. So yeah, my plan is to work on this until the 21st, and then on the 21st have a new start. It came as a surprise when did it come? This week? Monday or Tuesday? I had no idea. I had heard from a friend that had also ordered it from Country Sampler, that they had mentioned in their newsletter that they were starting to ship it, and I didn't get a shipping notice, but I did order it as soon as I saw it. I'm gonna go get it in a second here, but I'll finish my story. So I started it, or I didn't get a shipping notice, and so I thought maybe it hadn't shipped yet. Like maybe there was a super ton of interest in the first day, and so it was gonna take some time. It was fine. It probably would have been better for it to waited a little while, because it's been really tempting me. And it came as a surprise. It was a hard day at work. I think it did come Monday, and Monday was rough. Like at noon, it was just one of those days where it's not bad. Like my job is basically like putting out fires and solving problems and trying to prevent fires from happening in the first place. Like thinking ahead so that the fires don't happen. And it was noon, and I was like, okay, I have like these 3 or 4 things that I'm like juggling, and I get really squirrely because I have to like kind of, you do a little bit and then you got to switch gears and do something else. And so by noon, I was like, one more problem came to me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I want to go home, but I stuck through it. It was fine. I don't even remember what those things were anymore. It's just a part of the job that you sort of get used to, or you have to get used to. You just have to accept that that's a part of how it works. And like, that's why they need me, is because I help with all this stuff. So anyways, it was a really nice surprise, and I'm going to pause the video and go get it. I've already started, I mean, it came as a kit, but I've already started kitting it, like planning to get it ready. So I don't know what it's going to look like when I bring it down to you, but I'll be back. Okay. So this kit came from Country Sampler, beautifully kitted, beautifully packaged. It has, Classic Colorworks overdyed, Weeks Dyeworks overdyed, and DMC. It came with the fabric. You could get 36 count or 40 count saltbush. So it's like this grayish neutral. It's coming up a little bit grayer in the camera than I think it is in person. Slight green undertone. Hi, baby. Do you want to say hi? Oh, you stole my thing. Come here. Here's the puppy. She's not a puppy anymore. She's almost 2, but she acts like a puppy, don't you? You have lots of energy? Are you trying to play? We'll play in a little bit, okay? That's Millie. Anyway, saltbush. It doesn't say who makes saltbush. I feel like fabric provided by Fox and Rabbit. I just had to read. So that's what I thought. I just didn't want to say it was if I didn't know. So saltbush. The DMC are upstairs because I got full kits of the DMC. There's a lot of floss that came with this project. I did not expect it to come with so much floss. It's 149 by 168. But I mean, there's a lot of stitching there. Sorry, I should tell you what it is. Winter Moon by Plum Street. I saw this on Instagram. Country Sampler announced the kit, the exclusive kit, and I like died. I was walking out of the quilt store and I went, and then immediately like ran to my car to order it. So here's Winter Moon. This evergreen, like these trees are amazing. And then like the quilty snow and the beautiful, I don't know why I love houses. I stitch a lot of houses, but it's so good. So it was everything I could do to not start it the day that it came. So here, anyways, the DMC I have, I was going through my stash to check and see what I already had like open of like unskeined of DMC before I like wound those skeins to get them ready. Just gonna lay try and lay the, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I can try. They did such a good job with the presentation, and now I took it apart. Now I'm regretting it. And they had like all the colors mixed so that they were like beautifully together. Anyways, the overdyes are really great. So they're not, again, the color isn't fabulous. This green over here is actually really, really pretty. It is Juniper by Weeks Dyeworks. So I figured out what DMC I have versus what DMC I don't already so that I can like kit up my floss drops. And then I'm going to cut they say I have enough for a 2-inch border. I actually have enough for quite a bit of a border. So I'm going to do a 2.5-inch border, and I'll have a strip of extra. So I'm going to cut that and serge it and then get it on, find a scroll rod for it. And then the Weeks, because the tags are so little, I think I might like connect to a floss drop as well. I went to Joann's today to try to find a floss drop, or like I have a punch, but it's a little bigger than I would want. So I went there to look to see if they had something different. And the Joann's that I went to, which isn't the one that I normally go to, they had no punches. All their punches were gone. So the store was looking pretty rough. Like they probably have trouble with having people to stock. So anyways, I'm super excited. I'm starting that. So somehow it was connected to the solstice. Like the whole idea was that they were hoping that they would all go out by solstice, or they would start shipping by solstice. So this is, I mean, it's a little holiday-y of a pattern, but it's more of like a winter type stitch. So I will not finish this by Christmas and plan to continue stitching this into the rest of the winter season. It'll be really fun for like February too, because of that pinkish looking house. And so I am starting this with a few friends on the 21st, which is next Thursday, and it's burning a hole in my pocket. I'm super excited to start it. The colors are gorgeous. So yeah, but I love Light of Winter. I love Winter Rose Manor. So I've got lots of stitching to do and not enough time to do it. Yeah. All right. I thought this would be really short because I didn't really have, it's only been a week, but I guess I had more to share than I thought. I hope you are well this holiday season. I hope that the things that you choose to do are serving to you, and that if the holidays are difficult for you, know that you have friends here to support you. And I will be back next week. It's almost Christmas. I will be back a couple days before Christmas. So I hope you're well. Leave me a comment in the comment box below. Like and subscribe and share with your friends if this is something that you enjoy. And I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you're well. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, awkward. Bye.